Welcome back to FM Story. In the last episode, we won the Copa del Rey and ended everything we needed to win with Real Madrid. So for season 10, it's time for a change. And so we've gone to France, where we haven't been yet. In this save, we still need to win Liga and we still need to win the Coupe de France. And what better club to do it with than PSG? It actually turned out that what happened is we left Real Madrid. It looked like we might be going to Marseille, although we held off on that because the transfer budget that they were offering was nowhere near what we would need to be able to challenge PSG. Then Jurgen Klopp replaced me at Real Madrid, which opened up the PSG job, which we applied for. Even before we'd even applied for any job, we actually turned on the Man City job. But while we were waiting for PSG to offer us an interview, we turned down the USA job, Italy, France, Brazil. So it was a busy summer in terms of job offers. But we've taken over at PSG. Obviously, the media prediction is for them to finish first. We've got 54 million of a transfer budget. We've got 8 million in the wage budget. And looking at the squad, there are a hell of a lot of players there that are there in real life. Especially if you look at that midfield, it looks as though they've just signed Rodrigo from Real Madrid, which might be a bit of a problem because he's been injured most of the time we've been at Real Madrid. They've still got a 33-year-old Kylian Mbappe, who still looks outstanding. They've got Diego Costa in goal, Antonio Silva in the centre of defence. So the board wants to play attacking football. That's the only actual on-the-pitch stuff that they're looking for. The aim for the first season is latter stages of the Champions League and then obviously win the Coupe de France and win Liga, which is basically what we're looking to do anyway. And the board's not much different. The fans, are not much different. It's time for the opening day of the season with PSG, and we've done quite a bit of work in the transfer window, and there's still likely to be some more coming in during the rest of the transfer window. In terms of the outgoings, most of the outgoings were done before we took over. We did sell Terrazas to Burnley. There are a few more going out, which should bring us in, I think it's about 44 million. And then in terms of the incomings, so the first three were already done before we took over. Rodrigo, they spent 62 million on from Real Madrid in between the time we left Real Madrid and took over at PSG. I'm not sure it's a deal that I would have done given how many games he's missed in the 2 seasons we were in Madrid. But he is a quality option in terms of the depth of the squad. And then they picked up a couple of players on free transfers at the end of the contracts. Firstly, Boubacar Kamara, who we had in our very first season when we were at Aston Villa. Still looks a quality player, especially just to play in that role in front of the back four that we've been playing. And then a slightly more questionable one was the signing of Lisandro Martinez. Obviously still very good technically and mentally. I'm not sure where we're going to use him though. I don't know that we're going to use him at centre half. And if we're not going to use him at centre half, he's probably the backup at left back. And he's 34 as well. So it seemed a bit of a strange transfer when I saw that one. And then we've signed 2 players. The one issue is obviously where do we play Mbappe? If we play Mbappe off the left, then we don't really have a true option through the middle. If we play him through the middle, we don't really have an awful lot of backup to him. So we went back to Real Madrid. We brought in Lucas Fontana, whose technical stats don't look that great, but every time he came into the team, he seemed to do something. So we brought him in on loan leading to a permanent deal at the end of the season. And then backup goalkeeper Arnaud Tenas has decided he wants to leave. So we've gone to Al Wasl and signed Mozambique international goalkeeper Reginaldo Mioch. Really looks like a really good potential goalkeeper, someone who can back up Diego Costa, who's obviously going to be the number one. Tactically, we're looking at playing the same sort of 4-3-3 that we played at the end of our time with Real Madrid. Now, whether we play Mbappe off the left or through the middle, we have played one game, which was the Trophy de Champion, and Lucas Fontana wasn't available because he was away at the Olympics with Argentina. But it didn't exactly go well. We took an early lead through a penalty from Mbappe. They equalised in the second half. We really just did not create anything. And then we managed to completely screw up the penalty shootout. Mbappe hit the post. Eder Militao missed the target completely. They scored all four of those, and they picked up the first trophy of the season. Looking at the season preview, obviously we are big favourites. We've got 8 of the Media Dream 11. Obviously not having the full summer. There's still a bit of work to do. I'm not sure exactly what the best lineup is, the best formation either. So it's going to be a bit of experimentation to start the season to see what the best way to go about this season is going to be. We have an interesting start. I think we've got a pretty decent start to the season, and then it looks like October with Lyon, Marseille, Monaco might be a more difficult spell. We are approaching the end of August and the end of the transfer window. There's been some more ins and outs. So far, our results have been pretty good. Some of the performances not so good. In terms of the outgoings, there has been some more players go out. Arnaud Tenas did go out for $9.5 million to Hellas Verona. Ruben Dias at 35 went out to Barcelona. And we haven't actually signed anyone yet since we last looked. We do have a couple of players that we're looking to bring in. Obviously, we saw at the start of the season that we lost the Trophy de Champion on penalties to Nantes. We followed that up with a 6-1 win on the opening day of the season. We hammered Angers. And then the performance against Strasbourg was not great at all. Really, it took until they went down to 10 men for us to kick in to gear, and we came away with a 2-0 victory. The following game against Toulouse, we went 1-0 behind and got an equaliser. And then everything looked like it was running smoothly. We were 3-1 up just after the hour. And then Toulouse got a goal back later on, and it was a bit nervy for the last couple of moments. And then, following on from that, we went away to Stade Reims and came in with a 6-1 victory. Destiny and Barter with a hat-trick either side of half-time. Just outstanding. So we are top of the table, having won from 4. We've got Lens coming up next. September looks like it might be a bit of a difficult month in terms of the league, because we've got Lille, followed by Nantes, who are up and about near the top of the table as well, and then followed by Nice away from home as well. So we've made one change to the team that started the last game against Stade Reims. Antonio Silva's out injured, so we're having to go with a rather aging central defensive pair of Eder Militao and Lisandro Martinez while we wait till we sign another centre half. Whether that's Tom Reynolds or not, we'll see. The only other change we've made is Vitinha is back to fitness after an early injury. Zaire Emery's been struggling with an injury, a knock in the last couple of weeks, so he's just dropping down to the bench for a rest. Vitinha's coming in alongside Oscar Bob in the centre of midfield. We've got Destiny and Barter, who's outstanding on the right. We've got Kylian Mbappe wide left. And we've got Lucas Fontana, who we've got on loan from Real Madrid through the middle. Not an awful lot happening early on here. We've had a lot of the ball. Perez with the throw. And Barter goes back to Militao. Into Oscar Bob. And we've got space on the left-hand side. Kylian Mbappe loses the ball there, but Militao wins it back. Vitinha to Mbata. Oscar Bob with an acrobatic effort, and it lands on the roof of the net. Right, Nuno Mendes with a corner. The keeper comes and claims it easily. And then goes long. And Perez tidies it up at the back. Sandro Martinez to Ugarte, back to Martinez. Nuno Mendes on his left. Tries to go in field. Comes back to him and he then goes all the way back to Martinez. Mbappe now by the corner flag. Mendes in space. Squares it and Vitinha's shot squirms into the arms of the keeper. Now Mendes again down the left. Mbappe crosses towards the back post. And Barta goes down. Look like a push in the back there, and it looks like we're getting a penalty. And it's been given. And Mbappe's going to step up and take it, I think. He scored one in the Trophy to Champion, then missed one in the shootout. This time he finds the bottom corner and puts us 1-0 up. Nice and calm, picked his spot right into the side netting so that the keeper couldn't get anywhere near it. And there we are, half time, 1-0 up. It's been a very, very one-sided half. I mean, we've had 72% possession. We've had 13 shots, 5 on target. But we've not had that many highlights, given that dominance. And we could do with at least another goal just to give us that little bit of security in the second half. Right, we sent the same team out to start the second half. Right, Perez with a free kick into Ugarte. Vitinha back to Militao. Perez straight down the line for Mbata in the box, pulls it back. Vitinha side foots it home. Perfect start to the second half. That's us 2-0 up. And it just gives us that extra little comfort, extra little cushion of an extra goal. And Perez just quickly works it forward for Mbata, pulls it back. About 8 or 9 yards out, Vitinha just side foots it in at the far post. Mendes with a free kick to Martinez. Vitinha on looking for Mbata. It bounces off Fontana. And Mbata finishes superbly. And we're going to get a VAR check here, but I don't think it can possibly be offside. Oh, it is. So Mbata tries to make the run in behind. And yeah, he is offside. Right, Oscar Bob with a free kick to the back post. Perez gets his head on it. Ugarte directed it goalwards, but basically the keeper's made a great point-blank save to turn it behind. Mbappe with the corner. Aims it towards the far post. It's headed away from Perez. Martinez tidies it up at the back. And then finds Mbappe in acres of space on that left-hand side. And he smashes one home. How that went in, I don't know, but from taking the corner, as soon as Martinez picked the ball up, there was no one within about 20 yards of him. When Martinez looks up here, like the nearest person's halfway inside their own box. He just takes it in and then just smashes it into that far corner to put us 3-0 up. Right, their first real foray forward, and it's just a ball chipped into the box that goes straight through to Diego Costa. He rolls it out to Ugarte. Oscar Bob quickly turns, finds Mbappe, back to Mendes. Mbappe loses out down the left-hand side there. And keeper goes long. Militao wins a header. Perez nicks in and Barta goes for it, picks up the loose ball. Ugarte to Lisandro Martinez. Mendes helps it on to Mbappe in space again on the left. Back to Mendes, cuts in on his right foot, and it just drifts wide of the far post. Right, Mbappe with a free kick. Chips it down the line looking for Fontana. It's cleared as far as Mbappe. goes round the outsides, pulls it back, and Vitinha just couldn't keep the effort down. Right, Guy with a throw. Vitinha to Mbata in the box. First shot's blocked. The second one, he fires down into the ground. It goes into the back of the net. That's 4-0. And we are starting now to put some better performances together. Vitinha into Mbata, just drifts in the box. His first shot's blocked. Second one, he fires it into the ground over the defender's outstretched boot. The keeper was out of position and it was 4-0. Bacciarina with a free kick. It's headed clear. And now they're going to break down the right hand side. Podence crosses into the box. They got the head on it, I think. It's pulled back. They're in the box now. And we've got a decent block in the end from Lisandro Martinez, and it goes behind for a corner. It's the first time they've really threatened at all in this game. Corner comes in. Diego Costa comes and claims it easily, under no pressure whatsoever. And Diego Costa with the free kick to Lisandro Martinez. And we've given the ball away in a stupid position there. Luckily, Perez tidies it up at the back. Kamara out to Mbata, infield to Vitinha, onto Fontana in the box. Great finish that is. It looked like it went between the defender's legs, across the keeper, and that's 5-0. So Kamara out to Mbata. First time ball into Vitinha, then a lovely little reverse ball. Great first touch from Fontana, and then fires it across the keeper. And there we are, full time, 5-0. Performances are improving. It's 5 from 5 at the top of the league as well. And things are going pretty well. I think it's safe to say that since that game against Lens that we won 5-0, things have gone pretty bad. As you can see, we are now down into 4th. We have lost 2 games. We've only played 2 league games since that Lens game. We did say it was going to be difficult. We lost 2-1 away at Lille. All the goals coming late on. They took the lead in the 83rd minute. Mbappe equalised in the 88th minute. And then they got a winner in the 94th minute. We then went away to Arsenal and lost 2-0. And then we lost 1-0 away at Nantes, who've now beaten us twice, having beaten us on penalties in the Trophy as champion. Things did pick up slightly in the Champions League when we beat Porto 2-1 in our last game. The transfer window did end with us having made another signing. It wasn't the signing we were looking at. We were looking at Tom Reynolds from Arsenal. He was taking so long to make his mind up on whether he was going to come or not that we actually went and signed one of his club teammates who became available on deadline day. We picked up Lenny Yoro for 25 million just to compete alongside Antonio Silva, Lisandro Martinez, Eder Militao in that central defence. He hasn't actually, I think he's made one substitute appearance for us so far, just taking it easy, easing him in. But like, if you look at those mentals, the anticipation, decisions, determination, leadership, positioning, good in the air, it's what we've maybe been lacking a bit. It's maybe been a bit of a, having had Ruben Diaz and Lisandro Martinez as 2 of our centre halves at the start of the, neither of them are massively big. I mean, Euro's only 6'3", but he's a lot better in the air, I think, than either of those two have been, especially at their advanced age as well. The thing is, Euro's only 26. He went to Arsenal 3 seasons ago and only played 30 league games in total in those 3 seasons. So he's not really had much first-team football since he left Lille. Hopefully, we can get his career back on track. And so, fresh off the heels of two consecutive league defeats, we go away to Nice, managed by Robbie Keane. Not the game we probably would have wanted in this situation. We've made a couple of changes. We've gone with a Euro Silva central defensive pairing. We've gone with Kamara in front of the back four. Other than that, it's the team we picked in the last couple of games. So it's 4-3-3 against 4-2-3-1. They've somehow managed to keep Thuram and Todibo. If this is the 10th season since we started, so how they've managed to keep them, I don't know. But hopefully we can pick up 3 points here. Right, throw in for them in our half. Thuram loses out to Mbappe. Antonio Silva back to Nuno Mendes. Diego Costa out to Perez on the right. He cuts inside, then goes back out to Mbata, who loses out, and now we've got too many players in front of the ball. Pavard tackled by Perez, but Castro, it's played out to Mohamed Ali Cho, and we've got away with one there. We need to be so much better than we've been at the start of this game. Right, and Mbata wins it back. Zaire Emery. Long ball down the line from Mbata to get in behind. Pulls it back. Comes all the way through to Mbappe, who hits the post and it goes behind for a goal kick. Right, Nuno Mendes with a free kick. Kamara. Antonio Silva. Wide to Perez, straight onto Mbata. Zaire back to Mbata. Squares it. Fontana's first shot's blocked. On the rebound, he turns it home. And we've grabbed a 1-0 lead right on half time. And if you look at the match stats, it looks like it's a deserved lead. But I think we've seen 2 attacks in the whole of the 45 minutes. And both of those were right at the end of the first half. So there we go. 1-0 at half time. Like I say, when you look at the match stats, it looks like a pretty deserved lead, but I'm not quite sure that it is. I'm beginning to realise that having taken over at PSG was maybe not as straightforward as I thought it was going to be when we did it. Right, we've made 2 changes at half time. Ferdi and Rodrigo on for Mendes and Mbappe, who were both feeling a bit tough going fitness-wise in that first half. They've got the ball in their own half. Todibo into the midfield now. Thuram, Cho, Castro's in behind. And that was just far too easy. We didn't close a single one of those players down. They all had time to pick the pass. And they've levelled it up straight away, pretty much. Like, we're not close enough to even attempt to put a challenge in on any of those. Right, so Vitinha was struggling fitness-wise as well, so he's gone off and Oscar Bob's come on. Bob with a corner pretty much straight away. It's headed up in the air. Fontana back to Bob, back to Fontana. Bob. Fontana again. Bob. Ferdi now down the outside. Bob crosses, it's headed clear. And now they're breaking. What are we doing? Another one we've got away with. Diego Costa out wide to Ferdi from the goal kick. Rodrigo on to Bob. His cross is blocked. Eventually comes to Fontana. Bob, and then on to Mbata. I think he must be offside there. He looks well in advance of the defenders. And I know he's pretty quick, but I don't think he's that quick. And there it is, disallowed. In the end, it was actually a lot closer than I thought it was, but it's definitely offside. And we've still got some work to do here. From that free kick for the offside to Debo, into the midfield to Thuram. To Debo now, out wide to the fullback. And now they've got him behind again. And luckily, Diego Costa makes a save. It's still in the box though. Good block. And we're 2-1 down. It's a good block on that one, but it just bounces straight to Seppi, who fires home. Right, Perez to Mbata. Perez, Yoro, Kamara over the top. Mbata's in behind, and he misses the target. Right, Antonio Silva tidies it up at the back. Down the line for Rodrigo, into the box, squares it. Kolomwani's shot is bundled behind for a corner. Bob takes it towards the back post. It's headed clear. And now Seppi's breaking. He's on his own. And there we go, full time, 2-1 defeat. We've lost 3 games on the bounce in the league, and things are not going well at all. We might need a complete rejig on what we're going to do formation-wise here. And there we are, the end of the first episode of Season 10, and that has absolutely not gone as we would have hoped. Performance-wise, we didn't start well, but we got the results. And then as the performances started to turn, we thought we got the performances sorted. We've gone off a cliff, losing those 3 games to Lille, Nantes, and then that last one to Nice. And we need to do something serious in this next few games, otherwise we could realistically end up being sacked before Christmas from PSG, which would make the France section of the Glory Hunter a hell of a lot harder than it needs to be. Join us next time to see if we can survive another episode in charge of PSG. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.